This just in! Breaking news! Our top story tonight, with the United States of America in turmoil. President Donald Trump sends out a message of comfort.
I say that you're a terrible reporter. That's what I say. I think it's a very nasty question.
Whew! I feel better already. In other news, past U.S. Senator Ron Paul calls the coronavirus a hoax. Thanks for the warning there, Ron. Next, let's check out that pesky theory of gravity. Also tonight, defiant son Rand Paul tests positive for the coronavirus. Take that, Dad! Also tonight, nursing homes close as the CDC warns against large congregations of elderly people. In completely unrelated news, 5 U.S. senators are in self-quarantine. Next up, unemployment skyrockets amidst economic chaos. I know Trump wants to beat Obama at everything, but this is a bit much. And finally tonight, a Kentucky couple is furious after being denied 522 cans of Mountain Dew. I'm sorry guys, but this is a Mountain Don't. All of this and more tonight on Please Help Me Find a Title for these videos. I might just have to go with Polker News. Let's kick off our video today with talking about how Donald Trump has been handling the coronavirus crisis. Now, in case you missed it, coronavirus has been spreading at a pretty rapid pace. And I don't know how you missed it because you're not outside doing anything. Well, probably not outside doing it unless it's an essential business, which is a lot of businesses, so you were probably outside, so I guess you could have missed it. So where are we at here exactly? And if we take a global view, we can see that almost 400,000 people now have coronavirus. The number of deaths also continues to climb. It's over 16,000 now, with Italy being the country where the most people are dying. As for the US specifically, the case number looks to be around 50,000 and about 600 people have died. So we can see that a disproportionate part of the world's population that has the coronavirus is actually in the US, which leads me to believe one of two things. Either first off, most countries are not doing a very good job of testing, or second off, the problem is getting especially bad here. My thoughts? It's both. If we break down that number, we can see that New York has just by far and away the most people with the coronavirus. It's not even remotely close. They have over 21,000 cases. Number 2 on the list has just about 3,000, and it's nearby in New Jersey. So make no doubt about it, this is getting bad. In fact, this is getting so bad that when I went to the New York Times to see the live tracker, I almost made an account to be able to see the article. But how has our commander-in-chief been dealing with the issue? What's he been saying publicly? And what type of actions has he started to make? And as always with Donald Trump, I like to head straight to the source to see what the man's saying. And of course, that's going to be Twitter. The New York Times changed headlines 3 times in order to satisfy the radical left. What should have been a good story got worse and worse until the headline alone made it very unfair. Fake and corrupt news that is very dangerous for our country. To be honest, I wish I knew what he was talking about, but I'm afraid there's no way to know. Trump also tweeted, "We cannot let the cure be worse than the problem itself. At the end of the 15-day period, we will make a decision as to which way we want to go." And I think this is an example of a statement that both sides sort of overreact to. It's very reasonable, in my opinion, for the president to say, at the end of a period of time we've set aside for coronavirus quarantining, we'll just decide what we're going to do. It's just almost certainly going to end up in needing more time in quarantine. This is not going to be a 15 days, it all settles down type of thing. But saying you're going to reevaluate after 15 days, that's not inherently bad. It is good to actively update and monitor situations. We've also got some classic Trump moves going on here, like retweeting someone that said, "President Trump and New York Governor Cuomo are demonstrating to the nation how to work together and leave the politics aside." And then retweeting the same guy right before that, "Never forget, while Joe Biden was giving Hunter a ride to China on Air Force 2 to close a $1.5 billion deal with our biggest threat, Trump was looking out for America." Bit of a mixed message being sent there, but okay. Donald Trump also tweeted, "I watch and listen to the fake news. CNN, MSDNC, ABC, NBC, CBS, some of Fox, desperately and foolishly pleading to be politically correct. And don't we all think of Fox News when we think of that? The New York Times and the Washington Post. And all I see is hatred of me at any cost. Don't they understand they are destroying themselves?" And I know what you're thinking. PBS really dodged a bullet here. Good for them. But Trump's not just been lighting it up on the Twitters. He's been making some impressions in the press conferences as well.
Secretary of State Pompeo is extremely busy, so if you have any question for him right now, could you do that? Because you know what I'd like to do? I'd like him to go back to the State Department, or as they call it, the Deep State Department, if you don't mind. I'd like to have him go back and do his job. So does anybody have any question? Please.
Yes, everyone's seen this clip of Fauci laughing when Trump is suspicious of the deep state. And the problem with being suspicious of the deep state, when you are the state, is then you're just suspicious of yourself, which could make sense, I guess, but don't think it should. That one might have been an unforced error, but they're not always fastballs right down the middle of the plate. Sometimes they hit you with a nasty, nasty curveball.
You say the Americans were scared, though. I guess nearly 200 dead, 14,000 who are sick, millions, as you witnessed, who are scared right now. What do you say to Americans who are watching you right now who are scared?
I say that you're a terrible reporter. That's what I say. Go ahead. I think it's a very nasty question, and I think it's a very bad signal that you're putting out to the American people. The American people are looking for answers, and they're looking for hope. And you're doing sensationalism, and the same with NBC and Comcast. I don't call it Comcast. I call it Comcast. Let me just for whom you work. Let me just tell you something. That's really bad reporting. And you ought to get back to reporting instead of sensationalism. Let's see if it works. It might and it might not. I happen to feel good about it, but who knows? I've been right a lot.
Absolutely disgusting. Can you revoke people's citizenship? Just asking for a friend. You have the President of the United States during a national emergency asking your question, and you're gonna waste his time with, but what about the people that are scared? Get your fucking shit out of your locker. You're done here. And for anyone else that's scared of the White House, you know where you're gonna end up. While there's no doubt about it, Trump spent far too long sort of denying the seriousness of the coronavirus, his actions have been getting better recently. It appears he's put some people around him that actually know what's going on and want to do things to help. Here at Polker News Productions, we actually managed to secure an exclusive interview with Joe Biden for his thoughts on the matter. Seems about right. Moving on, let's talk about unemployment in America, or as I like to call it, the last 2 years of my life. But anyway, claims for unemployment have more than tripled, resulting in this graph which shows that the unemployment right now looks worse than it was during the 2008 housing crisis. Wait, no, that was just the Dow Jones upside down. This is the nationwide unemployment claims graph. It remains to be seen how long this will go on for and just how many people will end up losing their jobs. But this certainly is going to bring forward a conversation on UBI that we might have not had until a lot longer from now, and it remains to be seen how this is all going to play out. Moving on, a Lake Worth Beach City Commission meeting got a little bit out of hand. Essentially, there had been utilities turned off just a couple of weeks ago for some constituents of the area, and well, I'm just going to show you what happened.
Can we do better? There's always things that pop up that we can do better on, and I call the question.
I'm sorry, that's not how this works. We each have an opportunity to speak 5 minutes.
I thought we did.
Yeah, the question's been called.
I'm sorry. That's not how calling the question works. You need a second and you need to vote on it.
Then I have a second for calling the question.
Are you telling me that you're going to keep me from talking right now?
You've talked all evening.
Look here. You're calling me disrespectful because I've interrupted people, but this gentleman has turned off people's lights in the middle of a global health pandemic. That's what that gentleman did.
Point of order.
And you think I'm disrespectful for interrupting?
Point of order.
This gentleman has had the ability to do any number of things. We could have banned large gatherings. We could have closed the beach. We could have put a moratorium on utility shutoffs.
I recessed.
Also not within your power, and the attorney has held that that's true.
I recessed the meeting.
You came up with new rules at the beginning of the meeting, and then you didn't even want to follow the rules that you came up with.
And you took advantage.
This is a banana republic is what you're turning this place into with your so-called leadership.
Does a recess mean that we will be...
Yes.
Camera on that?
I don't care anything about this.
On that?
I don't care anything about this. We should have been talking about this last week.
Can we...
We cut off people's utilities this week and made them pay what could have been their last check to us to turn their lights on in a global health pandemic. But you don't care about that and you didn't want to meet. But every other year you go around and beg people for their votes.
Hey.
Can we explain
But
the
you
recess?
care more about your relationship with that guy than you care about the relationship with the people who don't go to work in this building.
Order! You were done. You're done. You're done. disrespectful.
What's disrespectful is what you've done to the working people in the city.
I didn't do anything.
You failed to act.
I didn't do anything.
When you're a leader, you failed to act. You said you didn't do anything. You failed to act. When you had an opportunity.
Party for State House.
I don't care anything about that. You think anybody cares?
Does a recess mean that we can reconvene tonight, or? Okay.
Certainly a very heated and passionate moment. Apparently there were about 50 people whose utilities were turned off before they stopped turning off utilities for everyone else. So those are the people that are in question here. I do also find it funny where he's accusing her of failing to act and she's saying she didn't do anything. It's like, you guys are a lot closer on this than you might have thought. Also, this guy at the end, hey, does the recess mean that I can please leave, please? Or can I not? I can't, okay. Just, you know, hypothetically, asking for a friend, if you will. And finally tonight, Harvey Weinstein has contracted the coronavirus, leading me to one question. How the fuck did this guy get tested before so many other people? You might think that Weinstein would be upset when he found out he'd contracted the virus, but according to him, the contraction was mutual. But yes, once again, this disgusting plague on society is making headlines. Not to mention the coronavirus. One of the more upsetting parts of this whole thing is apparently, contrary to popular belief, coronavirus can in fact spread to animals. Hey Harvey, did you consent to these jokes?
No, I did not.
Well, looks like you're gonna get him anyway. Weinstein's team has taken it public to smear the virus, saying that this thing would do anything for exposure. Anyway, thank you for joining me here today. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time.